What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and Empires and Puzzles has brought us some amazing new gargoyles in the Sanctuary of Gargoyles event. So today I'm going to talk about the brand new legendary heroes. But first, download Gemstone Legends, a mobile RPG puzzle match game. Use the link in the description to start with free stuff, including a bonus hero. Alright, so to start things off, you can see we have an epic hero here, Kalo, who I'm not talking about today, but make sure you're subscribed because this guy's ridiculous and I totally want to cover him special. So make sure you're tuned in for that. But let's start today with our brand new legendary heroes. We have Arko, who's a nature hero, 5-star wizard class, and of course part of the Gargoyle family. Just as a reminder what this is, the heroes get stronger the more of these gargoyles you have, of course, and the bonus is it's for 1, 2, or 3 heroes, immune to poison damage, immune to poison and burn damage, or immune to poison, burn, and water damage. You also have this event hero bonus. The members of this family have an additional perks in the Sanctuary of Gargoyles event. So as you're completing that event, the more of these you have, the more likely you are to succeed at that event. And the event is currently ongoing. So if you get it now, within the next day or so, you can level it up and compete in that. We have this passive here, Gargoyle Stone Skin. Every time this gargoyle casts a special skill, their stone skin hardens. The next 3 times they receive damage, it's dropped to 1. This effect cannot be dispelled. And this is a pretty strong passive. This is going to get a lot of people, they're going to forget about this, and then they're going to waste their damage, especially with special skills and things like that. What you have to do to play around this, by the way, if you're facing a hero like this on defense, is just hit it with some tiles first and then save your special for the correct time to hit it. We've got 762 attack, 815 defense, and 1,474 HP. The special skill here is Gargoyles of Redemption. It is average speed, so of course, depending on what type of mana troop you have, we have 2 different types of mana troops now. If you have it up to the correct level, you can essentially make or drop the number of tiles required by 1 and make it fast speed with 9 tiles instead of 10. Replaces all fiends on all allies with gargoyle minions. Summons a gargoyle minion for each ally. The gargoyle minion inherits 30% HP and 20% attack from the caster, which is a lot for minions. All allies' health is boosted by 75 HP for each minion owned by the allies. Now, at first when you read this, it's sort of a boring special, but it's not as bad as it sounds on first read. And then when people realize what the special actually does, and they're like, whoa, that's pretty good, I think they overhype it and go way too far to the strong side. This essentially is a proactive healer, in that you bank HP. So, you know, with a lot of healers in Empires and Puzzles, they're sort of getting reduced in value over time because you get heroes like this who can bank HP, whereas traditional healers will just heal damage dealt. Well, you know, if the opponent's special is about to go off and they're about to wipe you out, but you have Arko who can go off first, you don't need to wait to get wiped out to hopefully have heroes alive to try and heal, because what he's going to do is put a lot of minions on the allies and then potentially bank some more health by boosting all allies' health per however many minions there are. So think of Arko as a proactive healer, preventive healer in that sense, but really all he's doing is healing. Now the minions are huge, and this is going to be a really good hero to take on offense against heroes that delve out fiends. But let me tell you why it's not great to just totally flip to the whoa, look what he does, he's so overpowered, look at all the health that the heroes have now. He's not overpowered, he's good, but think about where you're going to use him. So, you know, he has a very defensive type of special to protect your team. So your thought would be, maybe I should put him on defense. So let's say we put him at tank or even flank, somewhere where he's going to get hit a little bit so his special can go off a little earlier in the match. Well, nobody's going to bring their fiend hero on offense unless they're just not thinking, unless they forget about the special, right? So like, he's not the best on defense because of that, although he'll still, you know, give big minions and still, you know, boost allies' health. But in that sense, he's more of just kind of like a regular hero, just a regular healer hero, I should say, with just a slight advantage of being able to bank it in case there hasn't been a lot of damage dealt yet. And so, like, you know, if the opponent has a bad board, he can really just build up the defense's health to the point where the opponent can't deal with it. But that's not where he's best used. He's best used against these fiend heroes, of which there's a number now. Problem being, you got to take him on offense, and he's not a very proactive, from an offensive standpoint, like attacking hero. Except for the tile hits, right? And I mean, the minions do have 20% attack, and if there's a lot of minions, that's going to deal some damage as well. But he's really there on offense as a healer to try and protect your team and to get a little bit of extra damage in. So I think he's good. I think he's really, really good, but I certainly don't think he's overpowered. I think for somebody who gets him, especially if you're mid to late game, and if you know you find yourself not using a lot of healers anymore because they're just not strong enough, he's a pretty good one. So I'm gonna give Arko a B+ for that reason, because I think he's useful. I just think that his use cases are awkward because he's a defensive hero that you don't really want to use on defense as much as you want to use on offense, which is weird. But because of the awkwardness there, that's why. Also, he absolutely can be used in like farming and tournaments and stuff like that, to if you're just trying to like get through and put it on autoplay or, you know, whatever, to boost your team's health and deal some you know, nickel and dime damage over time. Next up, we have Gossak, who is a 5-star purple hero, barbarian class. Of course, getting the Gargoyle family bonus, and also has Gargoyle's stone skin. However, because this is a slow hero, the passive here means that the next 4 times they receive damage, it's dropped to 1. So again, people are going to forget about that, and probably I just think these passives, they're not real obvious, and people forget about it and make mistakes, which is actually good. You want heroes that are so complicated in this game that people make mistakes when they're trying to play around it, because that means the better strategists are more likely to win. We have 809 attack here. This matters based on what the special is, so I'm going to show you that in a moment. Defense 786 and health 1417. Revengeful Smite is the special. As I stated, it's slow, and as you can see, the special is very simple. It's just a damage dealer. Deals 325% damage to all enemies, which is pretty good when you consider it's 809 attack. It is slow though, and for those of you who have followed me for a while, you know what I think of slow heroes, except in the very fast wars and tournaments and things like that. The less HP the caster has, the more damage they will deal, up to 650%. 650%. That is ridiculous. Now, you all know how I feel about these slow heroes. Whenever they go off, I feel like a slow hero needs to end the game, because there's just not much value in a slow hero. They tend to not go off before all the very fast and average and fast heroes have already won the battle. Slow heroes often just sit and rot and never ever get to fire their special. But when it goes off, it better win the game, and this one has the potential to do that. Just think about what's happening. So like 325% damage is actually already quite a lot for a hero that has 809 attack and is hitting all the heroes. But inevitably, because it's a slow hero, the opposing team is going to be taking damage. So, you know, an attacker might try to play around that, maybe just not deal damage to Gossak, but see, they're going to have a choice to make. They're either going to have to go balls to the walls and try and kill Gossak, or they're going to have to try and avoid Gossak. That's going to be the way to play this. If you try to kill Gossak and you don't, then when Gossak goes off, it's just going to wreck, right? And so I'm speaking from the perspective of attacking Gossak offense. Now, when you're on offense, unfortunately, the slow heroes are really, really tough to get off, and it's not usually a great strategy to rely on a special that depends on your own team taking damage, your own heroes taking damage. So I don't necessarily love Gossak for offense, but on defense, it could be kind of ridiculous. And especially on like very fast wars or tournaments. Now, there's so many strong purple heroes already. Like, I would think, you know, this might be interesting as a tank, except there's already so many good ones out there, and I don't think Gossak's better necessarily than what's already out there. Absolutely, Gossak's a lot better than a lot of purple heroes that are used in wars and tournaments, but You know, so this is viable. Like if you get Gossak and you don't have one of those other overpowered heroes, you should absolutely level it up and use it. But I think where Gossak's going to be best used is probably in wars and tournaments on defense, where perhaps the tank color is not purple, and you can sit Gossak like in the flank or the wing, somewhere in there where it can. And it also depends where you place Gossak based on what kind of tournament or war it is, like if it's very fast or if it's regular, right? I think if it's regular, you want it more in the back so it can build up over time, take a little bit of damage and deal more damage when it finally does go off. And maybe in the flank if it's more like a very fast war tournament, so you can hopefully get Gossak to go off a couple of times. So that's my thoughts on that. I don't think that Gossak is overpowered. Now, there have been leaks about Gossak from beta, and I would say the Gossak in beta was overpowered, but not right now. This is a pretty good level for the kind of heroes that they're putting out now. So for that reason, I'm going to give Gossak an A-, because I think that Gossak's going to be very good and deal a lot of damage, but not the best of all the purples and not overpowered. And lastly, we have Elduke, and Elduke is a 5-star fire hero of the monk class. Of course, getting the Gargoyle family bonus, and also has this Gargoyle stone skin, which only lasts for one turn because Elduke is a very fast hero with 817 attack, 766 defense, and 1437 HP. Fists of Atonement is the special, like I said, very fast. So, if you have one of the mana troops and you have it at the right level, you only need to make 2 matches with this hero to go off, and that matters because of, well, first of all, the passive. Every time the special goes off, it doesn't take damage, right? So it's going to go off more, but also because of what the Fist of Atonement special is. Deals 295% damage to the target and minor damage to nearby enemies, which is not like a huge percent. It's like relatively average for the heroes that they're releasing these days that hit, a target and nearby enemies. But check this out. The stack is with max 10, the target and nearby enemies get negative 8% defense. And because it is very fast, hopefully Elduke can go off a few times and build up that negative defense. I really like defense down heroes in this game because it makes it a lot easier for the rest of the team to clean up and win. I do think there's some use for this hero on defense, although I think it's more of an offensive hero. So, if you're going to put him on defense, I think you put him at the flank to try and protect him a little bit. Probably left flank at that, if you have the regular traditional V formation, so that he goes off and stacks a few defense downs. But think about it. So one stack is negative 8%. A second stack is going to be like 16 and 3, 24. So it's not the highest defense down we've seen in the game either, but it is very fast and it does keep dealing damage like that. I do like this hero. I think it's really good. I think it's going to be better for offense where you can aim the stacks. What's cool about it is because it stacks, it's going to stay. So that does make Elduke pretty valuable in my opinion. I think Elduke is up there with some of the most useful heroes in war and tournaments. And where I think Elduke is going to be particularly useful is against the Titan, where you have much more time. And in fact, tournaments too, or events where you're going up a boss where you have a lot of time to build that stack. That's where it's going to be most useful. So I think that Elduke has a lot of value because there's just a lot of flexibility in where you're using him. You can use him on defense. You can use him on offense. You can use him in events and tournaments and Titan and things like that. In fact, the longer it goes, the more useful Elduke is. So do remember that. I think this is a great hero. I would give Elduke an A just because I like the flexibility and how many different places he can be used. And of course, I like that speed. Of course, the value of Elduke diminishes in very fast wars and tournaments where he's already very fast. So, unfortunately, you're probably not going to use him as much in those, although you still can. He still has value in those. It's just not as good as some of those like slower, very slow heroes that have absolutely unbelievable specials that you can fire after only like 2 matches once you put the mana troops on them. So for that reason, I give Elduke an A. All right, so there you have it. Those are the 5-star legendary gargoyles. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notifications so you know when I drop new videos or go live. And I will catch you in the next one.